the Ultimate Search Campaigns Optimization Guide for e-commerce brands. Today we're going to talk about daily, weekly, and monthly optimizations you absolutely must do on your search campaigns if you run an e-commerce store. This is originally from our consulting package. We usually consult brands on their Google Ads if they are still not at the level of ad spend that in which makes sense to bring on an agency to add agency fees on top of their current ad spend. And this is one of the documents we give them to instruct on how they can run the campaigns on a daily basis after the consulting call. So as you can see here, we have the Google Ads Management Guide for search campaigns. For search campaigns specifically, we also have a Performance Max campaign guide, which we're going to cover in the next video. And we have a guide on how to manage our budget, which is something we see a lot of brand owners struggle with. So the idea of this document here is not to be the most in-depth optimization guide on search campaigns or Performance Max. We want to give you something that is actionable and give you the main points you need to be looking at on your search and Performance Max campaigns that are going to guarantee you success with your Google Ads account. So without any further ado, let's jump straight into the document. As you can see here, let's start talking about the daily optimizations. First, you want to monitor branded search terms in the keyword section, and you look at the search terms section. Check for any non-relevant keywords for the brand, for example, brand Reddit. Here, what you do is, upon identifying a bad keyword, go to the negative keyword section and only add the non-relevant keyword. In this case, the negative keyword would be Reddit only. So what you are doing here is you are making sure that your brand campaign, the brand that shows as to customers searching for the name of the brand, only show for relevant searches. You want to be very, very specific with your target. So here you'd remove Reddit as this is not a high intent keyword. You can maybe try this in another separate campaign, but not on your branded campaign. Now, talking about bidding, start with maximizing clicks. When you start your campaigns, you start with maximizing clicks with a high CPC between 3 and 5, for example. Our main goal here is to get this campaign to spend as fast as possible and to give you data as fast as possible. We are not thinking about profitability or results just yet. We just need data at this point. After a certain time frame and recurring conversions, adjust bidding towards conversions such as maximizing conversions or maximizing conversion value. In here, if you have products that are, if your AOV, if your average order on your website is about the same price every time, let's say all your products are around $30, then I recommend using maximize conversions. If you have very different AOVs, very different order values actually, for example, we have a bundle that is $200 and another that is $300 or $400, then you want to make sure you add, you select maximizing conversion value, maximize conversion value. Now, it is recommended to follow this sequence over time. First, you want to have maximize clicks on your search campaigns, then maximize conversions, then you set a target cost per acquisition. After that, maximize conversion value and target ROAS. It's important that you follow that order. The transition from bidding models is gradual and it may take around 90 days to determine the most effective option. So what you are doing here is you are following this sequence of optimization, the bidding strategies, to find the one that works best for you. We found that following this sequence is the most optimal option. What you want to do here is find out, is to gradually evolve your campaigns until you can select a target ROAS. It doesn't make sense to select a target ROAS in the beginning because the campaigns still have very few data. You want to select, you want to set a target ROAS once this campaign already has a lot of conversion data and a lot of intelligence. Now, let's talk about weekly optimizations. What do you want to do on a weekly basis? Okay, I'm looking at my ad account, I'm looking at what's going on. What should I do on a weekly basis? Check the overall performance of the campaign, ad group, keywords, and ads. This is within the search campaign or search campaigns if you have more than one. Compare the current week with the previous week. That's very important. You want to make sure you're always improving your results week after week. Your main metrics, CTR, CPC, cost per acquisition, and so on and so forth, ROAS. and the same period for the previous year if there is history. If you have the account for more than a year, then you can look at the comparison between this month and this time frame and the same time frame last year. Now, here are some key metrics to monitor: conversion rate, cost, conversions, conversion value, cost per conversion, click-through rate, cost per click, clicks, and impressions. Those are your main metrics to always be looking at. This one, the first one here, conversion value by cost, is your ROAS. This is what you want to be looking at, and also how much you are spending per day and per month, if that does make sense for you. Now, it's important not to worry about the number of impressions for this campaign. It's normal to have a campaign with few impressions, but with a high CTR. Here we are talking more specifically about the branded search campaign. Now, let's talk about the monthly optimizations. Monitor all keywords and pause those with low conversion performance or no impressions. So you want to be cleaning up your keywords, adding more keywords, and removing the ones that don't make sense for you at that time. Check at the monthly performance at as an overall performance, ad group, keyword, and the ad level. You want to see how your ads are performing, the comparison between your different copy and your different assets. Compare the current month with the previous month and the same period for the previous year if there's history once again. And again, the key metrics to monitor here: conversion value by cost, which is your ROAS, conversion value, cost per conversion, click-through rate, cost per click, clicks, and impressions. This is what you want to be doing overall on your search campaign. Of course, there's more specific things you can do here, but as an overall, those are the main areas you'll be optimizing. Now, performance max, something we're going to cover on the next video. So now we are going to talk about increasing daily budget for scaling. This is something we got asked a lot we get asked a lot on our consulting calls. Okay, so how do I know when it's time to increase budget? How do I know when it's time to invest more on Google Ads and maintain the performance? Now, here's the best way to do it. Monitor campaign's performance. Check your campaign performance regularly by looking at key metrics such as, again, those metrics we talked about. Analyze conversion rates. Look at your conversion rates and see if they are meeting your desired targets for sales and revenue. And by conversion rate, I mean overall your funnel, your metrics within Google Ads. So your cost, your conversions, and your ROAS. And this is all a result of your conversion rate on your website. So you're pretty much monitoring to see if it's making sense right now. If it is, determine a daily budget based on your goals. So based on your campaign performance, determine how much more you need to spend each day to reach your desired number of purchases. So let's say you're currently spending 10,000 a month on Google Ads, and you're getting about let's say 1,000, let's say 5,000 orders on your online store. Just example numbers. Those are not realistic numbers. But let's say you are getting that. Now, how many orders do you want to get on your online store? Okay, let's see how much more we need to spend to get to that level. Of course, this is not linear. It's not about just spending double to get 2 times the amount of sales. There's always the scaling factor. Once you scale, it's natural that you get a lower ROAS because you are with any type of investment, even with normal types of investments, S&P 500 and other types of asset classes. The more you scale, the less returns you have. The more security, the more scale you have, the lower are the returns. Same works with ads in a bigger scale. So here, what you're doing is basically you are looking at your current spending, and you need to determine how much you can spend. So here you're going to be doing frequent tests. So increase daily budget. If your campaigns are performing well and reaching your desired conversion rates, meaning your desired results, consider increasing your daily budget to reach a larger audience and scale your sales and revenue. Now, let's talk about the amount, by how many, how the percentage of the increase here of the ad spend. Note, for newly launched campaigns or after each optimization, wait for a period of 14 to 30 days to evaluate the results. So one thing you don't want to do is launch the campaigns and immediately after 2-3 days after, start looking at results and analyzing and changing budgets. You want to leave the campaign running for a while, 14 to 30 days before you judge the results. After this time frame, you want to do a big optimization and let it run again at the new budget so that you can determine if it's making sense or not. If conversion rates and ROAS are consistent, it is recommended to increase your budget gradually by 5 to 10% every 7 to 14 days. So what we are doing here is you are not scaling by a big percentage every 3 days, as some people recommend, because this is not sustainable. If you were to increase by 20% every 3 days, you'd have a geometric increase, an exponential increase in budget, which would something would break very in a very short time frame. What we want to do here is build those campaigns to be always consistent. We are increasing slowly the spend, but we want to make sure we are always growing the results consistently, and then we are not going to have a sudden drop in results. So what we are doing here is we're increasing the budget by 5 to 10% every 7 to 14 days, monitoring your campaign performance and key metrics. So you change your budgets, analyze, see if everything is maintained. If it is, great. In another 7 to 14 days, you want to increase it again. And that's how you scale consistently and keep the campaigns consistent with their results. Monitor progress after increasing your daily budget. Keep an eye on your campaign performance and regularly reevaluate to make sure you're getting the result you want in terms of sales and revenue. As I mentioned, make sure you are reaching those results. If for some reason after an increase in results your ROAS drop to a level that doesn't make sense for you at the moment, you can always decrease the budget a little bit until it stabilizes again. You may change and optimize the campaign a little better and then try again to increase your budget. And optimize campaigns. Continuously optimize your campaigns by making changes to targeting, bids, ad copy, and other elements to get the best results from your ad spend and maximize sales and revenue. So this is the optimization steps you need to take. Again, this is not a super in-depth guide. What we are trying to do here is, okay, I run my brand, I run my business, and I want to run the Google Ads campaigns myself or someone in the team. How do we do this in the most efficient way possible, a way that doesn't take all my time? I still need to manage my whole brand, and I'm still not in the level where it makes sense to automate and to delegate that to an agency, because all the money I can get right now as ad spend will be valuable, so we'll just put everything in ad spend. So this is the document for you. Once again, if you want access to this document, just make sure to leave a comment in this video with your Instagram handle or your Twitter or LinkedIn, and I'll send you over to you. Outside of that, I hope this was valuable. I hope you could extract some insights from here on how to optimize your campaigns. Again, on the next video, we're going to talk about Performance Max, which is a more in-depth guide. As you can see here, we have a lot to cover, and it's very in-depth. So we're going to take a look at that in the next video. Thanks so much for watching this one, and I will see you then. Bye-bye.